Now, going to 2027, there is an incumbent. This incumbent has publicly elicited that he knows how to take power by force, grab it, snatch it, and run away with it. This incumbent now has the army, the police, the navy by his side. This incumbent is from the south.
For me, I think that candidate should be Peter Obi. You know, candidate that have moved from, that goes around from state to state, that move from Jigawa to from Abuja to Kafasha, Kafasha to Kaduna, even to Olamaboro in Kogi State, and I've been to several technical institutions, nursing school. We can't have people who are not showing compassion, who are not showing that they have the capacity to be able to know the terrain of this country. Because the problem we have put people in government who have not been able to even know what is the route that link between Ogugu to Enugu.
You cannot use a fresh candidate from the south to defeat an incumbent from the south. Atiku and Obi failed because they were trying to battle an incumbent northerner with another northerner. When Buhari contested with Umaru Yar'Adua, he got only 7 million votes in 2007.
If Peter Obi actually resigns from the Labour Party and takes up membership of the ADC, would you be working together?
One, that is a hypothetical question.
Yes.
And I'm reluctant in answering hypothetical questions. But let me tell you my strategy going 2027. First and foremost, in 2023, we believe that it was the turn of the South, and we battled it. As a matter of fact, I started planning it from 2019. When I entered APC, I made it clear, Ndibo for Buhari 2019, Buhari for Ndibo 2023. As at that time, Peter Obi was a vice presidential candidate to Atiku. And I said, I'm not going to support that ticket. Because if I support that ticket, that means the North will have the presidency for 12 years, unbroken. I am surprised that the same people who were supporting that ticket...
16 years?
Well, Buhari did 4 years then.
Okay.
And then I now said, no, we should allow Buhari to finish his 8 years.
Okay.
Because if you vote Atiku and Obi, that means a northerner transferring power to another northerner, and they will spend 12 years. I'm surprised that the same people who were against me then are now again saying that power cannot return to the North after 4 years. In 2023, I campaigned for the same Peter Obi. If Peter Obi and Atiku had won in 2019, there wouldn't even be a chance for anybody from the Southeast to contest the presidency in 2023. Because by 2023, there would be no incumbent. And the only chance that a Southeast person would have is when there is no incumbent. And then I have now learned from 2023 that in Nigeria, when you win an election and you don't have the power of the establishment supporting you, they will take it away from you. Do you know that Southwest has never contested any election when there is an incumbent? From 1999 to 2027.
So for 2027?
Yes. That's where I'm going. Now,
because based on what you're saying,
yes,
battling an incumbent in 2027 is futile.
Very futile. If you are from the South, you cannot use a fresh candidate from the South to defeat an incumbent from the South. Atiku and Obi failed because they were trying to battle an incumbent northerner with another northerner.
So the person to battle Tinubu, in your view, is a northerner?
In my own view, if you even want to make any impact. So all these people that are telling you, zone this thing to the South, zone this, they are simply telling you zone it to Tinubu. And I'll give you an example. In PDP, all these people now saying that PDP must declare 2 years beforehand that they should vote, that they should zone the stuff to South. in 2023, he never mentioned that you should zone to the south until after the primary election of PDP, which they lost, and when they were not chosen to be the vice president. And I'm talking about Wike. He never mentioned that they should zone it to the south in 2023. And now he's saying 2 years before the time that you must zone it to the south. And this is the same person that has told you he will work for Tinubu in 2027. So anybody telling you you must zone any ticket to the south is telling you you must zone it to Tinubu. Because how can you use a fresh southerner to defeat an incumbent southerner? That person is either intellectually disorganized or ignorant or lacks political strategy. Politics is not about sentiments, it's about strategy.
Before we go on the break.
Now, look at what Tinubu did in 2015. Tinubu, do you think he didn't want to be president in 2015? But he knew it would be futile if he had gone to contest with Goodluck Jonathan. So he went and brought a northerner that had the court figure that has retired from politics. Whether his brain is working or not, he went and brought him and supported him and used him to defeat Goodluck Jonathan. And now, when there is no incumbent in power, he now came in and then used the support of the establishment to support himself. And whatever result they declared, they say he won. I believe we won that election in 2023, but it was taken away from us. So you don't expect to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. Do I look like a madman to you?
So when we hear Peter Obi saying he's going to run in 2027,
yes.
Rotimi Amechi, same thing. And then, of course, everyone is talking about Atiku.
Yes.
How do you feel about those? Because it feels like almost every major player is trying to become president in the ADC. It
is expected.
Okay.
And there's nothing wrong with that. When we were going into coalition, I told people that we are united in going into coalition, but our differences will come when individual ambition comes. That is politics. There's nothing wrong with that.
Would these individual ambitions, in your view, rock? Because it's a lot of ambition from a lot of strong people.
Yes.
How do you keep it together with all these very strong people?
It's very good. There is only one way to keep them together. Conduct a free, fair presidential primary election. And whoever wins, every other person will support the person.
The ADC, now in form of the coalition, has two ambitions: to remove President Tinubu out of power, and to remove the APC also, to push the APC out of power. Do you think that it's possible? Just your general thoughts to start with.
First and foremost, for the Inter-Party Advisory Council, there's a new chairman. I'm former chairman. But for the coalition, I actually attended several meetings of the current coalition and was part of several deliberations. For the opportunities that lies for the coalition and their plan to remove the current administration that is not underperforming seriously, I think there are a lot of chances. But those chances should be predicated on certain factors and drawn within certain parameters, because you cannot, in this day and time, when election and political dynamics have changed from where people need to stuff ballot box, run away with it and grab it, you need candidates that have momentum, that have public appeal, that have, that have organic depth of support, that have to be able to go into the ballot so that you have go onto the ballot so that you have the opportunity to remove the current government. And you know that if you, the kind of information that was put here to say that it must be not. What defeated Jonathan in 2015 wasn't just about the fact that the North felt that it was their turn from 2011-12 to build up to 2015, and they felt that it was their turn and that they must try to be part of it. And that would even see happen without the implosion in the PDP, where you have people from River State, you have people from Imo, people from Kwara like Saraki and Co, who now eventually left the PDP. So the only way to defeat this current government is to have a candidate that will have the capacity to do so. And you can't come and put innuendos and rhetoric and so it must be the North. Pursuing generalization statement on general terms without specifically stating what candidate you think should be that. For me, I think that candidate should be Peter Obi. Candidate that have moved that goes around from state to state, that move from Jigawa to from Abuja to Kafasha to Kaduna, even to Olamaboro in Kogi State, and I've been to several technical institutions, nursing school. We can't have people who are not showing compassion, who are not showing that they have the capacity to be able to know the terrain of this country. Because the problem we have put people in government who have not been able to even know what is the route that link between Ogugu to Enugu. What is that road? People don't travel, they travel on shop. But I have seen a candidate. I will not come to do a statement on that I will not mention name of those I think that can win this thing. And if you look at the last election, there was no political entrenchment. There was no political structure. People say, oh, there are 3 people tweeting in one room. There are no governors, there are no senators. But that election, Obi has proven beyond reasonable doubt that he has the public, the people have interest in him. Because it's about the messaging. It's about the acceptance. Because you can be popular, and then you go to the ballot and there's no result. But people accept you. That's why your popularity translates into vote. So you look at the Southern election that was conducted, despite the fact that APC was in control of the structure in the entire south of our country. And PDP was in control of, within the south, PDP was in control of Delta. In that Delta, they had a vice presidential candidate for the PDP, and Atiku won the vote. Peter Obi won the vote there over 80%. You have the Southern election statistics where Peter Obi had 44.5%, Atiku had 19.4%, Tinubu had 35.5%, and Kwakwaso had 0.48%. Where he defeated every candidate that participated in the South. And when you come to the North, he had a substantial share. You have to take away the rigging, because the people say, oh, he didn't win the election. People are claiming he won the election. We need to go to the IRF and see that there are a lot of irregularities, a lot of forged results that were posted there. And if you look at the BBC report, expose done on Rivers State, including Premium Times, you will find out that Peter Obi defeated every other candidate in Rivers State. These are data that are verifiable, that you can reach out to. We can't just sit down and then come to a station and then try to put up candidates that are not going out there to sell themselves, to go around to connect with Nigerians, to show compassion to people who are going through crisis, like what happened in Makwa, and then we go and elect candidate again that will now start to draw Nigeria back.
Arguments. Okay. What about the arguments people like this person make, Mr. Kenneth Okonkwo, by saying that Obi cannot make inroads in the core north? And that's why he says he favors a northern candidate, so that we can have it split down the middle, so that there's a southern candidate and there's another candidate. I said Obi cannot make inroads in the core north. I didn't win a lot of the votes in the north the last time around. And you need somebody that the north will be able to hold on to, as it were. And he said that having the south together, there's going to be if you have 2 candidates in the south, there's going to be a split of votes. But if you have the north, a northern candidate, then the north will collectively stand behind somebody, and the south will stand behind their candidate, and they are going to merge them. In fact, let me be honest with you, the thought of me talking about this on national TV makes me feel very stupid in this country, that after many years of independence, we still talk about North and South rather than development and people that are competent and they have character. So I feel very stupid this morning, but either way. So what's your take to that argument?
Sincerely, Rufai, I must agree with you that it's embarrassing that we're still talking about North and South, that it should be based on competence, merit, and ability to perform. But the take is that there are data that they are putting out that is not really representing the true interest of the North. You can't say that the North, for instance, I do not agree. I know what Obi scored in Kaduna in the last election. It's 294,000 votes and 2 hours of rep in Kaduna. And I know what is scored in Plateau. So the North is not what his analysis is showing. The fact that Obi could even take 15.2% vote in the North without the kind of structure that was put in place, without proper preparation, 6 months into the election, the North is not as monolithic as he has come to define it. The fact is that we must be able to see that the North has gone beyond those rhetorics that he's putting out. Look at 2011 election result, when the North decided and committed to the fact that it was their turn. The CPC won almost the state in the north. Ribadu won in Osun. Jonathan won the whole South and took the North Central. So the best option for a country like us to grow forward is for people to stop coming to television station and insisting that the North will not support to be. That is a wrong. This I'm from the North. I'm from Kogi State. What part of the North is he talking about? I ran in the last election. I saw how a gun was pointed on me in my own local government, in my own collation center when Obi was defeating everybody in Olamabro local government. The facts are there. So we need to have an electoral security architecture that protects the interest of the opposition. We need to have an electoral umpire that is transparent, that has all intent and purposes to conduct a credible, a transparent election. If we have our election, removing the coalition center, and then keeping with the promise of the Independent Electoral Commission to upload results from the polling directly to the IRF, it will save us a lot of cost. It will save us a lot of embarrassment. We know that our election is progressing from ballot box stuffing, from ballot box snatching, and all of that. But we need this amendment. We don't need too many of these amendments that people are putting up today, because if the elections nobody has that capacity to say this rigging in 179,000 polling units. So we need to have that inbuilt system that the electoral umpire will make a rule, because if they make regulations and guidelines for conduct of election, they have the 2022 one as we speak. They must make a rule and decide to stand by the rule, because you can't have subsidiary law made by you and then you do not also respect that subsidiary law that the Supreme Court has said several times that is also a law that must be respected by all parties that are participating in an election. So INEC must step up its game to make sure that, because the reason why we have people in government today that are defecting and decapping to other parties because of the promise of we will protect you with security, we will talk to INEC for you. So this system will have to go away. But the mistake they are making now is that they are forgetting that the dynamics of our elections have changed. It has really changed, because there are young people that constitute over 60% of our population that are now very intelligent people that believe in technology, that understand interest of this country, because the unemployment figure is very embarrassing. The unemployment people are underpaid in most of the agencies and institutions. We need to have, the young people are more interested in rescuing this country. And I know that as we move forward, we need people that have financial discipline, that have moral discipline, that can communicate with the reality of today, and then be able to save this country from the brink of collapse. So for our elections to work, we must stop talking about North and South. But this is not going to stop now, because for now, we need to be able to balance what exists, so that we can go into an election united. Because people tell you about direct primaries. Direct primaries is when you have all the members of the parties contesting. For you to have direct primary in a political party, the party must have an inbuilt technology framework that must be able to protect that votes are transparent. Because we are going to be running election in almost all the wards of this country if it's a presidential election.
What is your recommendation? Who and what are you recommending to the coalition, since you say you have attended some of their meetings? Within the context of your line of argument.
For every time that you have, for every time you have election, there are new way of resolving issues. You could have direct primaries, indirect primaries, and a consensus on the day of election. But I believe that there should be a pre-elitist consensus so that people can come together and agree that, where are we going to the South? So that we will not waste time in this struggle between ourselves, and then deplete our resources, then deplete our energy, while the people in government have enough to be able to run around. So there should be a pre-elite consensus
from the South
where they decide.
Who is that person from the South that you would prefer?
No, I said it, that Obi is what I prefer. I prefer Obi because I've known Obi for a very long time. And I know he has been very consistent with his principle. And if I do say, who am I going to choose as somebody that should mentor my children, that will be able to bring this country back to financial discipline and bring fiscal discipline on board of our leadership of this country, I believe Obi has the capacity, the compassion, and the merit to deliver on that result.
Let's go straight to it now.
Yes.
You made the argument for power coming to the South. But you're also making the argument now that if ADC coalition will go ahead, that candidates like Atiku Abubakar should be favored there in a bid to be able to beat, President Tinubu Those are some of the arguments you've made. The question is, what changed in your train of thoughts all of a sudden? Is it just about to grab power or the fact that power should remain in the South?
Now, circumstances of 2023 is different from circumstances of 2027. In 2023, you didn't have an incumbent. In 2023, the power was in the North. It has not changed to the South. In 2023, we had a very viable platform. We had our Labour Party that we could relate with. Now, going to 2027, there is an incumbent. This incumbent has publicly elicited that he knows how to take power by force, grab it, snatch it, and run away with it. This incumbent now has the army, the police, the navy by his side. This incumbent is from the South. Let me tell you, it has not happened in Nigeria. I don't see it happening in 2027. That you will use a fresh candidate from the same section of the Nigeria to win an incumbent candidate. And this is my reason. When people say 12 million votes for Buhari, that is 12 million votes he garners only when he is dealing with a Southern candidate. When Buhari contested with Umaru Yar'Adua, he got only 7 million votes in 2007. So when you are talking about using a fresh candidate for any section, you cannot use the same candidate from that section to defeat an incumbent. And the reason is that nobody will be willing to fight for any vote if the candidate rigs the election. And so I am talking from the platform that I do not believe that we are going to have free, fair, credible election in 2027. I don't believe it because the electoral reforms have not been done. So you have only manually generated, collated results where all the fraud takes place. Why would you want to take somebody from the Southeast who does not have an army, who does not have the Navy, who does not have the Air Force, to go and confront somebody from the Southwest? And you think the North will now back you a fresh candidate that they do not even believe that may keep to the terms of the agreement. Like I said, I will not swear for any politician because I don't want to die before my time. So you have to be pragmatic. I am a politician existing in pragmatism. Activists exist in idealism. And so being realistic, the only choice you have to make even an impact, which every Nigerian would even have to support before it can make an impact, is if you want to challenge an incumbent, you take somebody from the other section and whatever votes you give to him will push the person through. That was what Tinubu did. In 2015, he went and brought Muhammadu Buhari, knowing that Muhammadu Buhari against a Southern candidate will have 12 million votes already. So he just needed little votes from the South to push him in. He knew that he did not have the army, the navy, and he cannot compete against Goodluck Jonathan, coming from the same zone. So that is why I'm saying, taking all this background, you need to use a northerner if you are talking about disruptive change. Otherwise, the 8 years is 8 years for Tinubu to continue. If Tinubu had done well, in all honesty, I will go home and sleep. But you cannot choose a Muslim ticket. The economy running riot, insecurity going everywhere. And we want to give you 8 years. So the only way to make a disruptive change is to bring a northerner and disrupt his regime. And the ADC has agreed. It has to be 4 years. And the ADC position is clear, that you would have a free and fair primary election where everybody is free to contest. It is not ADC saying they prefer northern candidate. No. It is my own preference and strategy because that's the only way to win Tinubu in the election.